Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary,
But watching stars without you, my soul cried. Grieving heart is full of pain.
Oops. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna make a stupid TikTok now. Maybe a little lip syncing. What do you think? Anybody got any song requests? You guys want to see me lip sync too? I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little lip syncing. I'm gonna go get some Dunkin' first though. Pretty happy. I got my good luck medals. I lost them for a long time. Okay. Long before this the demons came for me. And so I found them in a pair of dress pants that I wore to a wedding. Okay, and because I had a tie on, I took them off, whatever. And I had a nice sterling silver chain, but like, I kind of like it on the black string. You want to know who they are? Let me tell you. I'm not really that much of a religious man anymore, like a Catholic man. But it's this is Maximilian Kolbe. Okay. Why do I get like this? He's like, is that? Oh, that's on me. Holy shit. That's egg yolk. Thanks, Mom. I thought maybe it was a camera. Egg yolk. Look at me being all sloppy. Trying to look good being sloppy. That's just me, though. Little sloppy guys. Especially, you know where. Anyway, yeah, that's Maximilian Kolbe. Cut my nails. I'm very sorry about that, too. I'm a fucking mess. But he has probably one of the most amazing stories that any human being, a life that any human being has ever lived. I'll give you a brief rundown of it. He was a Franciscan monk in Poland around the time of like the 1930s. Okay. And so, of course, the mustache man comes to power and decides he wants a piece of that action.
Und wir werden in unserem Zeichen wieder siegen.
God, is that more yolk? What was I doing? He put my face in the trough? Anyway, so what happened was, the mustache man decided to take over Poland. And so he rushes in, and the Russians come in from the other side. And so he's now in occupied, the mustache man occupied Poland. And most of you penized have no idea of history, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. But so then he takes off, he flees, because believe it or not, some of the Catholics were persecuted too. And you'll see in a little bit. He takes off to Japan, of all places, right? Japan. And he starts another friary or whatever it's called, another, convent on a mountainside. Okay, now pay attention to the details. At some point, the Japanese imperial government starts to become what they were, pretty bad, and so he goes back to Poland, where he starts to begin printing out anti-mustache man, information to people against the Third Reich. Big no-no. And so he was also helping the persecuted people get away, or hiding them. And so one day the Gestapo rolled up to his house, took his ass. I'm trying to make this shorter, okay? Takes his ass, rolls him out, throws him in the concentration camp. Actually Auschwitz, of all of them, one of the worst ones. and he, lost tons of weight and started suffering, and like all the rest of them did. And they used to like to play mind games with their prisoners, the victims more or less, and they would line them all up in rows, and then the Gestapo officer or SS officer would come along and just start picking people out. You go past the next one, point his finger at him. No, and then he'll go to the next one. You, all up and down the rows, just picking out people that what they were going to do is put them in a chamber and starve them to death. Not very nice. Starving to death is you turn into an animal because you get so hungry you'll eat each other. Like, it's that bad. Nobody's ever been that hungry, especially in America. And so, long story short, he comes to one guy and he picks him, and the guy drops to his knees, starts crying out because he has wife and kids. They were already probably gassed. And he starts crying out, yada yada yada. And then this short, skinny man came walking from the back out of line, which normally they said that there's eyewitnesses that attest to this whole story who survived the concentration camp. And he starts walking up from the back, this man, and people said normally he would have never made it up to the front. He would have been beaten to death. And so he makes it up front, and he talks to the Gestapo officer, who's in utter shock that this guy has the nuts to do that. And he says, I'd like to take this man's place, I'd like to take his place to go starve to death. And the Gestapo officer was just so shocked. Normally, he would have taken both of them to go, you want to take his place? Both coming, they're horribly evil. And so he's somehow said okay and took him instead. And this Franciscan friar, or monk or whatever, Maximilian Kolbe, he was put in the dungeon, and they starved him. And they said there was actual guards that attested to that there were moments where the dungeon sounded like a church because people were so desperate and they knew they were going to meet their maker. And so he kind of congealed them and comforted them. And basically, they all starved to death, and he was the last one to go. He stuck around to see them all out. And so they came in and injected him with poison, and he died, okay? So here's the fucking kicker. This is the craziest part. So, several years later, right, something terrible happens in Japan, okay? A sudden roar high above the clouds befalls the city, okay? The air sirens go off. And next thing you know, entire city is fucking incinerated. People on fire, melting, shadows burnt to things, you know, gone. Okay. This city was Nagasaki. Church that he built survived all of it. Nobody died of radiation poisoning because he put it on this steep side of the hill. I mean, it was right in Nagasaki, but it was like on this face, and he was urged, never, don't put it on there. People aren't going to come to it because it's fucking, you know. Nobody died in that church. Fucking weird, right? That was, so for those of you who don't know, that's Nagasaki is where they dropped the atomic bomb. One of the two places they dropped the atomic bomb. Yeah. Just completely leveled the whole city. Yeah. That's an interesting life, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Maximilian Kolbe, he's my patron saint. That's who I chose during my confirmation, back when I was a Catholic. And the other one is St. Christopher. We all know him. He's a patron saint of travel. And someday I will travel, because my name is Christopher. I'm named after him. I will do my traveling at some point in my life. I'm going to go with Chatty. Chatty's going to bring me along. I'm going to go with him. Learn how to travel. Anyway, that's a short story for you, a little history. Yeah. When I heard that man's story, Maximilian Kolbe's, I was like, holy fuck, dude. Some people really make the most of their lives. That shows the complexity of love, to give your life to somebody else. Well, the story doesn't end there. Okay. Do you remember the guy that he took the place of? Maximilian took the place of that man. Okay. Okay. So whatever became of him, he was still in Auschwitz. He was still going to die. Okay. But it happened to be, I think it was 1945. I don't know. I remember exactly the date in which this took place. But he survived. He kept surviving. Like, people kept sticking their neck out for him to keep him alive. For some reason. It was just fate, you know. That sacrifice would not go in vain, you know. Would not be in vain, you know. I mean, doesn't that kind of make you think that there is something going on, something special happening? Anywho, and so the Allies are approaching from the east and the west, okay? And so the Nazi commandant of Auschwitz-Birkenau started to order the execution of as many people as they could to cover up their tracks. And they had those ovens cooking all day, 24 hours a day, trying to fit as many bodies in there as they could. Well, what became of him? So I think he survived another couple of years, okay, until they were liberated. So what happened was there was basically other people sticking their necks out for God only knows what reason to help him survive. You know, I mean, this is people. The nature of people under those circumstances is very brutal. They don't care. They are so broken. They see people dying every day, bodies everywhere, and so it doesn't register anymore. Their humanity and their empathy's gone. Okay, all hope is lost. But people were sticking their necks out for him and hiding him, and just when they were being liquidated and hauled off to the showers. And so basically what happened was he got sick or something, and he ended up in the infirmary of the camp. Okay, Auschwitz-Birkenau. And so the office of the guards were coming in and injecting, poisoning every person who was sick in the hospital beds. Well, one of the nurses, who was a German, or she might have been, I don't know, who ended up telling him, they're coming. Why him? Why didn't she show the mercy to everybody? And she orchestrated it so she hid him in a pile of corpses. Okay, she hid him. So when they came in and did what they did to these people, they didn't bother checking up all the corpses. Okay, shortly thereafter, within a day or two or whatever, a week, 3-4 days, the Allies, I believe it was the Russians, I think, the camp was liberated, and he survived. Okay. And I believe, I gotta double check this, I believe he actually did get reunited with his family. And he lived a very, very full, long life, teaching people and spreading the word of, God or whatever, It's just amazing to me. And he made it his life's mission to tell Maximilian's story. And he ended up going around his whole life. He felt indebted to have a life. And he is. He really is. To spread the word and the work of this man, who gave his life, his last breath, his last to his cause, his beliefs, Anyway, so this is why I wear his medal. That's him right there. Very handsome devil, very brave man. Anyway, so that's it, So thanks for listening. That's a little. I know it's not as good as my lip syncing videos. Don't worry, I'll have another one of those for you. So anyway, that's the life and times of Maximilian Kolbe. I think I got most of it down. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Pride can stand 1,000 trials. The strong will never fall. But watching stars without you, my soul cries.
Anyway, y'all have a good day. Be good to each other. Love conquers all. And forgiveness is very important. I'm working on that. Okay. Love you guys. Peace.